to the topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause. We doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel. Thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on Monday. It's Man Talk Monday.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's on. Got the people already showing up with some Ben Sutterers. He said, great show title. He ready already, man. Ben is ready for the show already. Thank you for joining. This is Man Talk Mondays. I am Derek, the thought engineer, here with my man, comedian John Yogi. How's it going, bro?
Man, it is going great. 2022, February, January, March, and April. I don't know what that means, but it's going to be good.
Looking forward to big things, man.
Absolutely.
You know, you supposed to always start the year off positive, and everybody say every year, you know, I think this is going to be the year. Yeah, let's make it the year. Let's make it the year.
If this can be the year COVID-free, then that will be the year, sir.
Oh, bro, what you talking about? What's up, Mr. Ivan? What's going on?
Ivan? What's good?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Let me just remind everybody, this is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we talk about everything from religion to politics to relationships. But, of course, we do them from a man's perspective. Now, keep in mind, it's not just for men. We want everybody to participate, men, women, boys, and girls. You can join the conversation. Now, how you do this, you go in the comments, drop your comment, drop your question. We can see this, and this is how you talk to us. But by all means, we want to hear from you. You want to be part of this conversation tonight, right? So stay tuned. We're going to get into the conversation. But before we get into all of that, ladies and gentlemen, Man Talk Monday news.
Welcome to Man Talk News tonight with today's top story. That COVID is something else. This is your man, John D. Blackman. And do you know somebody? Is your friend's brother's cousin's daddy's grandmother got COVID? Because if they do, stay away from me. Stop going outside, going around your friends if you got COVID, acting like you ain't got nothing. If I find out you got COVID and you coming around people, man, alone, you coming around me, I'm going to bite you, pinch you, scratch you, do anything I can to make you stop existing. Do not come around me if you think you or your children got COVID. That's the least you should be able to do. This will be your man, John D. Blackman, asking, you get the hell away from me if you got that COVID. Good evening and good night.
Hey, man, it's spread like wildfire right now, man. It is crazy. John looks like he woke up from a nap. Dr. Melita said John D. Blackman don't have any other clothes. Hey, that budget, they got
those is news clothes.
Hey, that budget is tight. Wardrobe, man. Got the wardrobe.
That book is tight as that. The budget as tight as that jacket is.
This is low budget news. They ain't got
Hey,
that.
man.
All right. Don't forget, people, like, share, subscribe to our podcast. You can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, Spreaker, Bullhorn, all these different platforms. You can find us, right? But by all means, go check us out. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast and leave a review. Let us know how you feel about it. And yes, we are on TV now, right? You can catch us on BS3 TV on Roku. That's the BS3 space TV. It's a channel on Roku. You can go, you can find Man Talk Mondays. You can find Cigar Chronicles. You can find Queen 3 and King. There's a host of what's Marriage. What's the new one? The Marriage Show. Listen, it's some great content. Great content, great creators doing big things, and you can watch all of it. Catch it all on BS3 TV on Roku. On any Roku TV or any TV equipped with a Roku device, you can catch it. Make sure you go and check us out. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get into this thing tonight. Ivan says he needs to plug in his microphone too. John D. Blackman wasn't even plugged in, boy. Marriage is real. Yes, marriage is real. You want to check that one out, all the married people. You want to check out Marriage is Real. Great new podcast on BS3 TV. Doing big things. We are doing big things. But let's get into this. Man, talk about it. Man, talk about it. Now, let me say, before we get off into man, talk about it, we always love to make sure we promote our people. And our producer, our wonderful producer, has her own podcast now. Her podcast, Teaching Through the Eyes of Trauma. Teaching Through the Eyes of Trauma is her new podcast. It's a podcast for educators, but trust me, the information that she gives out, anybody is good for anybody. Parents, teachers, administrators, you want to listen to this podcast. It's just a lot of good information that you probably didn't even know about trauma.
I have a question for Dr. Selena Smith about trauma.
You got a question for her about trauma?
I got a question for her about trauma. Because I was wondering, as I'm listening to the podcast, it would appear that some of the instances that are being used, you would think that they're over. Like, for example, the little boy that was in the room that wouldn't sleep during the day, and it kind of made me think: is this the what do you say? Not over. Is this the norm? I'm just curious about what the norm is for the kids, because this can't possibly be norm. And I'm kind of curious about what would the norm be in most of these situations. Would it be more in the center? Are they more crazier than what we think? What's going on? What would you say we were at with that?
I don't think people pay attention to what they expose kids to. And what she talks about is it shines a light on the effects that, the stuff that adults do, the effects it has on kids, and even the stuff that we carry on into adulthood that we don't understand. And so ACEs, he talks about ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, and how they affect even your physical health, your learning ability, and all of this stuff. So it's a great podcast, great information. Make sure you all go and check it out. She's on Google and Spotify and Apple and all that. So go and check it out. Like, share, subscribe to their podcast. New episode every week. And support. Definitely want to support.
Y'all check that out, man. It's a great one.
Absolutely. Well, I'm pretty sure many of you have heard by now the tragic news. Regina King's son, Ian Alexander, tragically ends his life. A 26-year-old young man committed suicide tragically, and the whole, Hollywood, everybody is this outpour of love for her, and everybody is really saddened by the news of this young man's passing.
You really don't know what to say when it comes to someone losing a child, man. That's yeah, that's really tough, man. And our only child at that. So your heart and your prayers go out to the family. But that's really tough, especially with having a mom in Hollywood, man. That's really tough, dude. Real talk. That's really tough. Really tough.
They posted some tweets, some of his final tweets, and he had this tweet about there was an episode of SpongeBob where they ended up going into SpongeBob's head, and there was a bunch of little SpongeBobs running around, and it was chaotic. And he was like, that hit too close to home to him. And then he had another message that said something about Instagram may be too much for him. And man, social media, it's not good for people to be able to expose you to all their thoughts. Because people crazy. And I don't think crazy is catchy, it's infectious. And so I don't know. I don't think it's good all the time to expose everybody to everybody's thoughts.
Well, and people are a lot meaner on social media than they are in real life. Cause you get to hide.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You do get to hide. Yeah. So we sending our condolences, love, everything to Regina King. Lisa says, so incredibly sad. You never know what a person is going through. And this is why, listen, mental health is real. The importance of talking to somebody, having not just somebody to talk to like a therapist, but a good support system, a good group of friends, family members, or somebody who can just kind of hold you up, who can be there to support you and remind you of how important you are. And that, like people say, trouble don't last always.
And even if you're not important, they can make you think you are. So you need those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to know you matter to somebody.
To somebody.
Right.
To some. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when it comes to mattering to people, I think some people have changed their mind about how they feel about their spouses. I don't think they really matter to them. So people are getting divorced right and left. So we find out that Cora Jakes Coleman is divorcing her husband. Her and husband are getting divorced.
Oh, she divorcing him.
Well, they're getting divorced. I don't know who initiated it. Now, those who don't know what Cora Jakes Coleman is, this is Pastor T.D. Jakes' daughter, is one of his daughters. So, Bishop Jakes, what's up, Bishop? What you teaching the kids about the marriage?
Well, hold on. They still go through. They still, listen. Marriage don't have it don't have, we're going to be easier for you because who your dad is. It don't have, we're going to be easier for you because you get more knowledge or you in it or your marriage on the spotlight. It's tough for everybody. Compromise have to come from everybody, regardless of your race, your status, how much money you got. You going to go through it. You going to go through it. And ultimately, whether or not you make it or not, it's going to be a decision that y'all come together and make. If you want to, you will. If you don't, if you don't, then you won't.
And it doesn't stop there. Up next, I'm saying, wow, D. Hey man, I'm just wondering what are we teaching? I mean, I just want to know.
But whoa. So does that mean we're not being taught the right thing if we don't do it?
Being taught it is one thing. Following through on it is a whole.
There you go. Because the generation behind us, they do that. Nah.
Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up in divorce court, we got Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa getting divorced.
And see,
The fairy
girls
tale
is crazy.
romance.
They've been together for 16 years and were married for 4 years. And I think she 10 years older than him.
Yeah, she's older than him. Yeah.
Yeah, and they got kids and stuff, man. But I guess with that though, my understanding is he was spending so much time working, bringing money into the house, trying to make sure they eat, and she was like, "Nah, I don't care about none of that. I just want you. I want to spend more time with you." My understanding, he invited her on the sets of the movies that he was doing. She was like, "Nah, I don't want none of that. I want you at home. I want to spend more time together." Because I think the longer they were married, the more popular he got, and the more popular he got, the more he's gone away from the house. Because some movies, I also I also have done movies and stuff like that before, and I understand some months they fly you out of 6 months at a time to do certain movies. The hours didn't take more than 2 weeks, but I've heard that some of them will take a lot of time to do.
I would say Lisa Bonet, holler at me. Let us know when y'all had that first date. You got plenty of time. Well, hey, but Jason Momoa has a hot career right now. He a big ticket item right now. Lois says, tough living your marriage in the spotlight. Even tougher when you are living in the shadow of your spouse.
But see, I'm not sure it was because she was in the shadow of him, because I don't think she wanted the Hollywood life anymore. I think she wanted a regular guy. And it's funny because you fall in love with a guy for being who he is and what he's trying to do. And then when he gets there, you have a problem with what goes on. But she knows Hollywood as good as anybody do.
Yeah.
So how can you be surprised when this happens?
She kind of rejected it. She kind of had a rejection towards it. Alicia says, "Is the Cosby Show still paying the bills? You better let that man work." But he is working a lot though. Jason Momoa is in a lot of stuff. Ron says that Aquaman money is good. You better believe it.
But it's funny, man. Again, we talk about this all the time. We talk about what do you really want? What do you want? Do you want the security, or you want that man at home? What is it going to take for you to be happy? Because you can't have everything, guys.
And everybody seems to be like, Lisa, what are you doing? Let this man go to work. Let him do his job. Let him be support. Let him support and everything. I think a lot come with that high fame, because he's a big ticket person. It's my
both of them.
Both of them. Now, speaking about a person's career taking precedent over the marriage. Now, we heard about Devon Franklin and Megan Good getting divorced, right? Devon Franklin and Megan Good are getting divorced. For those of you who are under a rock, you may not have heard this. Yes, the hot Christian couple is calling it quits. And the rumors is, or it's been said, that it's because he wanted kids and she didn't.
And she getting older too, so that body might not have that bounce back like it did when she was younger, if she would have kids younger. And also, most of her acting parts are the somewhat sultry younger lady that shows a lot of body, that does that's sexy, that's the side chick. She's not normally the star, but it's tough, man. I feel what she's saying, but I think this is something that should have been talked about at the beginning.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But what distracts you from having that conversation in the beginning, though? Alicia said Megan Good is back outside. hey, and her dance card would not be empty long. Trust me. Ron said, "Let Megan be free."
Brother, let her be. Hey, brother. But again, as we get older, hey man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like, I gotta make this money while I can.
Yes. Because she's not always gonna be able to do that.
Assets.
Right. See that? There you go. D, you on fire today. You're on fire today, D. You're on fire.
Man. Hey, Hollywood is ruthless, man.
It is.
You know?
And you're trying to stay relevant. You're trying to stay relevant. If you go down for 9 months, yeah, you might be due. You might be through.
So a lot of times people are not realistic about relationships. People aren't realistic about the people they being with. They don't get in marriages thinking realistically. Mika said she had on that jersey that said "Miss Good if you're nasty." She been ready. She had that jersey ready to go. So she ain't wasting no time, right? Ivan says, "Holler at me, Megan. I got that good. I got one more baby I can give you." She just said she didn't want no baby.
She don't want no babies. She don't want no babies.
That's why she leaves. They break it up. But people don't base their marriages and relationships off, solid stuff. So we on Clubhouse the other day. Me and Mr. Yogi here. We on Clubhouse and we get into this room, and the room happens to be talking about soulmates. And this one particular gentleman gets into this story about this one woman they were meant to be together. When they together, nothing else matters. The whole world shuts down around them, and they in their own bubble of love and everything. But she's married. Mm-hmm. And the vibe in the room was like Olivia Pope and the president. Everybody was hyping them up like, oh, you know what I'm saying? What y'all waiting on and all this kind of stuff. So it got us to thinking. Soulmate versus spouses, because that's what he said. He said this was his soulmate. She was his soulmate. Soulmate versus spouses.
Both of them have had kids by other people. Both of them have been in and out of relationships with other people.
Yeah.
And they've been messing around since they was probably 14 or 15, and now he's 52. Right? And he was talking about her like she was Queen Bee. Like she was all that. And then a bag of them hot fried chips.
When people say somebody love your dirty draws, he was
yes.
He all up in the hamper.
His biggest thing was this my soulmate.
Yes. Adamant about it.
Yes. So today we're kind of curious about what is a soulmate. What definitions do you guys have for a soulmate? And I'm curious because I'm pretty sure that people use it for their own gain when they say, "Oh my God, I can feel him breathing. Oh my God,
I can feel him breathing.
I can see what he's doing right now, even though I'm 1,000 miles away. I can see what he's doing. Oh my God, I just love him."
Right.
So again, what does soulmate mean to you, D? What you got?
It's this connection that you have with somebody, this natural, just like y'all just click, your minds and everything are just intertwined and y'all vibe and the compatibility factor is crazy. About to the point to where you so astounded by how much y'all click, how much y'all vibe, and you just lost in the vibe, the energy, and all that type of stuff. You just lost in it. What about you? What you say about soulmate?
I think soulmates is when you young and have real good sex with somebody. you automatically take from it and say, "Wow, you know what? You made it pop down there. You must be my soulmate." Ain't nobody never made me feel like that before. Ain't nobody never had my drawers on fire when I left them.
Dr. Salita says someone in which you have undeniable chemistry. The chemistry. Undeniable chemistry with.
Okay.
Monique says, if they were that tight, why didn't they marry?
We're going to get to that part.
That's a valid question.
Yes, it is.
Valid question.
Yes, it is.
But for the sake of the conversation, we just want to get the soulmate thing into perspective. We want to get it really locked in. I did a little research. And really, here's the thing about it. The whole premise of a soulmate is based on a person being incomplete. That's the whole premise. So the guy that came up with the whole soulmate thing, he believed that God created the spirits, and the spirits were androgynous, or they were both male and female. So when God created male and female, he took that soul and split it in two. And so the only way for that soul to be complete is for that man and that woman to come back together. So it's based on a premise of people being incomplete. So when people talk about, I found someone who completes me, are you incomplete without somebody? Is a soulmate, do you need a soulmate to complete you? Ron say soulmate. If I lose my job and you can cover the bills until I get back on my feet. I like that one, Ron. I like that one. You know what I'm saying? When the chips are down, you know what I'm saying? Can you hold me down? But it's based on the premise of being incomplete. And if you walk around feeling like you incomplete, does that set you up for failure, though? Relationship-wise, does it set you up for failure?
It would appear so. Because how many people do you have to go through before you can find your soulmate? How many people do you got to go around trying to vibe with or connect with? Because let me say this: if I'm a very outgoing person, and most people are. When you're outgoing, you'll find yourself vibing with people, and a lot of times that vibing with people brings chemistry with people. And what we do in our heads, we put ourselves on this pedestal to kind of say, hey, he vibing with me, I'm kind of vibing with him. I think we might be good to have a relationship with each other. And that's not the case. Vibing with somebody in a conversation or when you go out and talk to someone is completely different from relationship. Now, if you have some really good sex, that tends to spark the oh my God, I think I love he. I think I love she, which normally brings on the difficulties of now. I think we soulmates when we can't stay together, but I think we soulmates. Go ahead. I don't want to say too much.
So Monique says, yes, I agree with Selena. I met someone that I clicked with off the rip. It felt like we had known one another, but marriage, I'm not sure, because marriage has the commitment factor that so many of us have an issue with. So we have an issue with the commitment factor. So is the commitment now a hindrance in you being with your soulmate? And then too, like Johnston, a soulmate, or do you have a soul tie?
And I think that's the intertwined part, D. That's what's intertwined.
So what is a soul tie? We heard what you said about soulmates, but what is a soul tie?
When you done had some good sex, and think, okay, this is the thing. Most of the time, we do this kind of stuff when we're younger and are not as experienced. That's why most of the soul. That's why the soul ties and the friend that all that start when we young because we don't know no better. And our stupid behinds will allow this to guide us for the rest of our lives. So now, what the definition of a soul tie is when you have slept together and they get some of you and you get some of them, because everybody that we have relations with takes something from us, and that's a soul tie.
So a soul tie is a powerful emotional bond. It's a powerful emotional bond to another person. Now the bond is emotional. It's emotional. Now, the fact that it's an emotional bond is why we can confuse the two, because we run off emotions. Everybody today running off emotions. And if we running off emotions, wouldn't it be easy to confuse a soul tie with a soulmate?
Well, it's easy to confuse it, but it's also easier to want to dictate what the terms are of the way you feel it. This has to be my soulmate. This has to be because I feel something for him. And the truth of the matter is, I believe that we don't have soulmates. I believe that the woman that I spent 30 years with is my soulmate because she put up with me. Whereas the woman that I thought was my soulmate, as soon as they got married to somebody, they stopped being my soulmate, and I don't think that's possible. I don't believe that's possible. I think the definition of a soulmate is somebody who can put up with your nasty behind. Somebody who loves you enough to try to take care of you and see about you. That's what I think a soulmate is. Now, y'all seem to have this confused that I believe that I believe we get this mixed up because one of the people that think they're a soulmate is actually not. First of all, I think one of y'all don't think that y'all are soulmate. I think the other person that wants that person in the way that they can't have them, and that's relationship wise. For example, the guy said that we heard, he said, we've been messing around since I was 15 and she now I'm 52. And he sounds like he wants her to make a commitment to him because he loves her. And all he is a jump off for her. All he is, listen to me, all he is a jump off for her. So miss me with this
Soulmate, soul tie.
miss me with that, guy. Miss me with that. If you feel like you got a soulmate, that's because you wanted something from that person that they can't give you. Because
Wow.
that's it, right? That is it enough. So I had a friend of mine to tell me they were in love with this guy in and out of relationships because he was in and out of relationships. And they said, I feel like he's the guy for me. Why? Because she couldn't have him or he can't have her like he wants to. Y'all need to stop playing because in the midst of this, y'all could be messing up some good on that bush about my soulmate.
On the bush.
That's bush,
Right.
bro.
So Rod asked, he said, is sex always emotional?
It is for somebody.
He says, I've been in wonderful sexual situations that were not emotionally fueled. He says, I'm with John on this one.
Wait a minute.
All right, so he agree with you.
Which means he normally ain't on with me for the rest of it.
So all right, so let me go back. He said, is it emotional and all this? Can you do all that without the emotion? I don't think you can. I think it just depends on where you stand in the whole situation. If you are the person who's more in need, I think you take more away from it than the person who's just having fun, but you still take something away from it.
Name a better way to hang on to something that you can't have than say, because when you say we soulmates, now it gives you the right to keep trying to pursue that thing, whether you with somebody or not.
Oh wow.
Please explain to me. Please explain to me.
Wow.
What gives you a better excuse? What gives you, well, that's my soulmate. So now people look over you being stupid and they say, girl, a boy, y'all need to be together. When one of y'all don't need to be together. One of y'all ain't even thinking about the other one like that. One of y'all trying to go on with their life and you the one keep holding on. Or if I keep you around, you might jump off and I ain't got sense enough to know it.
You bring up a good point because I hear a lot of people talk about today how happiness is a good reason to get divorced. You're not happy. You want to be happy. You deserve to be happy. Now, this is justification for getting out of this thing.
Well,
So,
go ahead.
Alicia agreed with you, John. She said that's a good point. Okay. Rod say, yes, it's an excuse. Absolutely. It is an excuse. And now you have this, you put this responsibility on this person, or you lock this person into something that, at least in your mind, they shouldn't never be tied to.
If the people the reason why we can't get a clear definition of soulmates is because people won't be honest.
Oh.
Most of the time, when you're saying I got a soulmate or vice versa, because again, I can talk about this because this was me. I thought somebody was my soulmate until they got somebody else. Now it was okay. It was okay for me to keep in touch with him and all that because I still got my hand. I still got my hand on him. I still got my hand on him. But when you can't when you can't keep up with them no more, and they go about their business, then you realize you're a fool. You know, they don't want you like that. What made you think that they wanted you like that? Well, I thought that we had something. You ain't got nothing. If you ain't got a ring, you don't have nothing. All you can do is sleep with them from on occasion, and that's it. If they would be honest, they would say, "I always wanted them this way, and I never could have them." So that's the connecting piece right there. I could never have them the way I wanted them. So they must be my soulmate.
Dr. Selena says soulmate equals great sex mate. Period. It'll say we take everything to the bed. Everything equals we gotta sleep together.
But let me tell you something.
If anything, we vibe in any kind of way. Oh, we gotta sleep together.
Let me tell you something about women. When women were on the show and they putting together their list of top things they had to have, good sex was higher than I need Jesus.
It was higher than Jesus. It was
higher than Jesus. Because all I want you to do is make me holler Jesus, and that'll be enough for me right there.
Let the church say, amen.
I'm just saying that, dude. And so if you can give them what they want, and most of the time when we young, I'm all day. How much time you got? Because I'm gonna be here a while.
Right.
So, and that's how they turn into your soulmates earlier rather than later. Most people's soulmates come from when they were younger. You don't never get 50 and say, I think he my soulmate.
So the soulmate overrides spouse. Because this guy wanted the woman, Dr. Selena say it's important. Talking about the sex.
It ain't that important. It ain't that important. You're lying. It ain't that important.
Kenny's laughing. Kenny laughing at you. Rod said, amen. Listen. Listen. This guy wanted her to give up her marriage to be with him. He was like, they had spent the night together and she had to leave, and he was so crushed that she was leaving and all of this. And I'm saying, I'm pretty sure she was lying to him like, baby, I wish I didn't have to go. I want to stay with you. As soon as she got in the car, she's like, woo, let me get on back to these kids. Ivan said, John, if super fantastic, amazing sex is a factor in determining a soulmate, there are a whole lot of females out there that think I'm their soulmate.
Tell Ivan to go on somewhere, man. Tell him to go. Man. Everybody got time for that foolishness today, bro. But dude, go ahead.
So Kenny say, is soul tie and soulmate really even legit? I have researched this, and I don't think there is such a thing, but we've adopted it over time, and people get stuck looking for something that may not even exist. I do believe there is a person you connect with the best more than another. Don't be mad at me. I love y'all. No, we ain't mad. I think you're right. But any justification to do what we want to do versus what we should do, we're going to find it. And soulmate seems to be it's at least one that people will buy. People buy that excuse.
Soulmate is the only thing that you can do that allow you to hold on to somebody else while you married and got kids. What kind of issue is that? See, I need to cuss right there, because what kind of issue is that? Because it's stopping you from being whatever you can become with that person that's actually loving you and trying to hold you down. And you got your eye set on somebody that you will never have, that you're trying to hold on to, that made your legs weak when you was 18 or 19. What kind of issue is that? He made your legs weak enough where he didn't grab you and put a ring on him. He don't think enough of you to put a ring on it, or vice versa.
Mickey said, D and John, from the bottom of my heart, please don't post anything else from my brother.
He's doing a lot today. He's doing a lot today.
Don't even post nothing he's saying. Rod said, I think working in the adult entertainment industry warped my perspective on relationships. Rod worked in the adult entertainment industry. I know Rod. I know what he's talking about.
I want to know what he's talking about.
He wasn't on the set or anything, but Rod I'm gonna say it, Rod. I'm gonna tell you, they don't know you. Your face ain't on here. Rod used to manage strippers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
My friend asked me if he had any business cards.
your friend, okay.
My friend, not me. Hey, not me. I frowned upon that.
Right.
My friend.
Got a bachelor party coming up, right? Nobody getting married, but you got a bachelor party coming up.
Married and divorced.
But here was the crazy. Okay, Mika just said, "Don't put nothing else I haven't said." Don keeps saying the misidentified soulmate only comes when you're young. That's 100% wrong. I didn't believe anyone was my soulmate until I was 47 years old. Why did it take so long, Ivan? Were you now in a place to where settling down and being with somebody became more significant?
That's true.
Rod say, I went to work. Oh, wow. He said, I went on to work in swingers clubs. So Rod worked in swingers clubs, strip clubs. Ron say, is he still hiring? Let's leave Rod and his former employment out of this.
Hey, dude, this is taking the wrong turn somewhere, dude.
We've gone somewhere else with this whole deal. Mm-hmm. Rod a cool dude, man. He good people. But here's the thing: the guy was ready. Ivan says, I didn't meet her until then. Oh, he said I didn't meet her until then. Okay. Which brings up a good point. Here's the thing. If you do subscribe to the soulmate thing, you subscribe to it. Why not wait until you find that person? Why get mixed up with so many other people, which could possibly hinder you from actually being with that person?
Because the average person the average person meets that person when they're younger. And when you're younger, either you got stuff to get out of you or they got stuff to get out of them. And y'all just hope that y'all can you hold on to it so we can collect on it later. Whoa. No, this is what one of y'all is saying. The other person not saying. Now they may be telling you that, but that's not really what he feeling. He feeling like as many times you want to give me this bootay, or she's saying as many times you want to give me this bootay, I would get it. Because D asked the guy, says, do you think she would cheat on you if y'all were together? And that fool said, not me. So what makes you so special that if she been cheating with you since she was 15, what makes you so special that's if, you know what, I am more than enough for her. She can give me every 6 months for the next 30 years. I am more than enough for her. And wait. Why is she with you and her husband and everybody else? She gonna be more for you? You sound like a fool. My bad. You a fool.
And he couldn't see, because when I asked the question, without hesitation, no, she ain't gonna cheat on me. And I'm like, really, dude? Are you that naive? Because what he don't understand, she's not into you. She's in it for the thrill. You provide her with an escape from her reality of, I got a husband, I got kids and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, you ain't nothing but a side chick. You a side piece. And you so naive that you can't even see it. Because if she was going to leave her husband, where 70-80% of divorces are filed by women, which means they pulling the trigger without hesitation, then she would leave him if she was going to leave him. But if she hadn't done it, come on, man.
Wait a minute. She been in and out of 2 or 3 different relationships.
Yeah. Rod said we as adults need to be honest with our mates about what we want in our relationship. Most of the time, she doesn't know what your soul requires to be happy. Here's the thing about this, though, Rod. We're too afraid to be honest because we're afraid we're going to miss out on an opportunity to be with somebody. Are you so dedicated to your soulmate that you're willing to pass up? And you don't know when that soulmate, when you going to meet them, when they come, all this kind of stuff. And you got somebody right now. And here's the thing. People tell lies about forever so they can secure right now. We tell lies about forever so that we can secure right now. And so we'll take somebody who, you know what I'm saying, we ain't necessarily vibing with. We just got a soul tie with or some kind of attraction, and it's based on sex. But you got to do real life with this person.
So there you go.
You got to do real life. This guy, when you say soulmate, how many people, when they say soulmate and they think about being with their soulmate, it's all laying up, watching TV, eating, or going on vacations and hugged up and long walks on the beach and all this. Ain't nobody thinking about the debt. Nobody thinking about the child support from the last relationships. Ain't nobody thinking about the bills that you got to deal with and talk about and all that. When you think about soulmate and being with that person, does this play into it? Does this come into mind? So how realistic is it?
Well, it's as realistic as you know they don't really want you like that. And what we have done, we have lied to ourselves, and we'll tell ourselves whatever we need to tell ourselves in order to make us feel better about what's going on. Regardless of the people that you dragging through in the relationship, that you the husband and the guys that you meeting, as long as you can reach for this and reach for and have and hold on to that at the same time, you doing yourself and them a disservice, because there's nothing like loving somebody and they loving somebody else. There's nothing like
that.
Because when we get married, you're supposed to give me your heart, not half of it, not a third of it. You're supposed to give me your heart, and I'm supposed to give you mine. But how can I get something that you've given to somebody else and don't want it back?
Monique says, I don't think you know until you meet that person you ultimately click with. Monique, let me ask you, where is your faith? Where is your faith? Faith says, I'm going to hold out until I meet that person. I don't know when it's going to happen, right? Faith is the evidence of things not seen, right? Things hoped for, the substance of things hoped for. Where's the substance? You hoping for this person that you click with, then why pick up Joe Blow in the meantime? Because that relationship with Joe Blow going to mess it up when you meet that person. So where's the faith that I'm going to find that person? Mika say the older I get, the more I go back and forth about having a soulmate. I cannot call it.
You know why she going back and forth on the D? It's because she's been waiting for that soulmate to come back to her that she thought was a soulmate, and he ain't brought his slew foot behind back yet. And she tied. Let me tell all y'all something that's waiting, that don't know whether or not soulmates exist, because you know what I'm telling you is right. You know you waiting on him because you think he's supposed to come back and get you, and he ain't coming back. Let me tell you something. Go on about your business, because he's not coming back. You thought he was your soulmate this whole time, and now you begin to realize maybe he don't really feel me like I thought he was feeling me. Maybe this soulmate thing worked one way, because he don't feel you. And just like she didn't feel that other guy. Listen, I'm telling y'all because I'm trying to help somebody. I'm not trying to offend nobody, but you need to wake up and drink you a strong dose of coffee, because he don't want you like that. And that's the only reason why you starting to doubt it, because you held on to it all that time. And again, this ain't about Mika or nobody else. This is about, I'm talking to everybody out there that's starting to have doubts about somebody being their soulmate. No, be honest with yourself and think about it. Do he really want you like that? Do she really want you like that? And if you be honest with yourself, you're gonna say no. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I've been there. I've been there. I've tried to control somebody and make them be what I want them to be, that didn't have no plans on doing it. And I held on to that. I'm just like, I ain't no different than y'all. I just been through it. I made a fool out of myself, holding on, lying to myself.
Ivan agrees with you. And the crazy thing about it is, to me, and I'm going to say to me, it means something that somebody will commit to loving you. Somebody will commit to being there for you through real life. Rod said that's why I didn't marry any of the club girls.
Well, the first thing that we need to talk about is who in your past relationships are you still holding on to? Because let me be honest with y'all, it's not really fair to you or the person that's trying to come and get you if they have to compete with the guy. Hey, let me tell you something. Because the guy in your mind,
hold on. Give him a close up on this one.
Because the guy in your mind that you holding on to, nobody can compare to him. It's not even fair to the other guy because he can't compare to that guy that you got in your head, what the relationship would be like. And how you know what the relationship would be like, and he ain't never committed a relationship to you. But he'll come out and get that booty every time you give it to him. She'll come by, she'll say, I just put the kid down. He'll come by, she'll come by and give you whatever you're willing to give them without a relationship. That ain't, what kind of shit is that? Yeah, I told my wife I was gonna stop cussing. But what kind of stuff is that, y'all? Y'all deserve better than that. Even if you don't think you do, you deserve better than that. You deserve better than that, but you got to be honest with yourself first.
Most people are locked into fantasy. We said movies and music are the lies that people tell about love. And we watch these movies, we hear these songs, and we think that this is something real that you can have. They're talking about moments. When we look at social media and they show the trips and they show the pictures hugged up, these are moments. It's not the whole deal. It's not the reality. Everybody's stuck in this fantasy and they want the fantasy. But at some point, you got to get to the reality. Listen, blow your mind sex don't happen every time. It don't. Let's be real. Having everything you want is not something that's going to happen all the time. That's why when you get married, they say for richer, for poor, for better, for worse. It got to give you these conditions so you don't think that it's always for better and for richer all the time, because that's not reality.
Every divorced couple that we've talked about today, they got bread. They had loot. So if it ain't about the money, what is it about? How can I make you happy and have your heart while I'm doing it? I can't truly make you happy if I don't have your heart. And it's for guys or girls. If you holding on to somebody, my wife asked me this because I was holding on to my soulmate, what I thought was that, which turned out to be a bunch of bush. I was holding it. My wife said, "Who got your heart? Because you won't give." My wife said, "Who got your heart? Because you won't give it to me." And you think your spouses don't know? We know.
Yeah. My wife talks about it all the time. She talks about trauma, and she says the body keeps the score. Talking about the body remembers the negative stuff. Your body remembers that person too. Your body remembers that experience. And let me just say it. I don't care if you subscribe to God or not. You weren't supposed to have that experience. You weren't supposed to have that reference. The only person you were supposed to know was the person that you were going to spend the rest of your life with. That is why sex has a bonding mechanism to it. It's supposed to bond you to that one person for life. But when you mix it up, now you got all these bonds pulling you 7 ways from Sunday, and you can't think straight.
Don't nobody go in there and tear your behind out the socket like the person who ain't got no attachment to you. Like the person that can get up and go home. Like the person that ain't gonna see you for a little while. Can't nobody do you like that person. Because they don't have nothing to lose or nothing to gain. And ain't no pressure on them to perform like it is that person that you with.
The person renting the house don't never treat it as well as the person that own it.
Dude.
I'll say it again. The person that rent the house don't never treat it as well as the person that own it. They dog it out. They don't care how they treat it. They have all kinds of parties. They tear up the walls and everything else. But here's the thing. When you get somebody who's renting, they're going all out. Because it's temporary. I tell any young man, I say, listen, knocking all these different women down, that's nothing. That's nothing. Try sticking around with one of them so she can have time to call you out on your mess. So she can see who you really are. You want to see what kind of man you are? Stick around long enough for her to because she gonna tell you about yourself. Guarantee you, she gonna tell you about yourself. Stick around long enough for her to see who you really are. Sticking and moving, that's easy. That's nothing.
You're right. Bro, listen. Don't nobody slam the car door like the person that don't own the car.
Bruh.
Don't nobody slam the car. Like, why is it that every time you get in a car that you don't pay for, you slamming the door? Because I have no respect for what's not mine. And the crazy thing about it, get this. With the soulmates, most of the time, they go and marry somebody else. Now, let that sink in a little bit. They go and marry somebody else. And I know you got to be feeling why they wasn't me, because we could have made this thing work. Listen, women file for divorces all the time when the guy's shocked. Oh, wait, they stopped this time when it came to you? They stopped this time? People are in and out of relationships all the time. You mean to tell me y'all couldn't get in and out of y'all relationship to get together? Or did somebody not ever play it that way? Think about it, guys. Think about it. They committed to somebody, even though they're not committed to them, but they at least put a ring on it. They can stop and they'll still be married. And what you got? You just got your ass hanging off on the side.
Yeah. All right. Ivan says, even if they're not your soulmate, D, have we answered the question, soulmate versus spouse?
We can't answer that. We can't answer that. Well, I know what the answer should be, but that answer is up to you guys, because most people are the ones dragging soulmates into their marriages. Most people are. We're talking to this guy. He in and out of marriages, and instead of dragging the soulmate behind him, you better let him or let her go, and you better hold on to that person that cares about you,
right?
And that's at least trying to make it work. Because all they want is the slam bam, thank you, ma'am. And to be honest, we too old for that. Once we know better, we too old. Whether that be 21 or 25 or 45, we too old for that.
Yeah. When you're old behind, can't wipe your own butt and can't feed yourself, they sitting there doing it for you.
That's what you better get.
you hear what I'm saying? Final thoughts.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. All right, my final thought for this evening is this. Listen, we deserve better. Normally, we get what we think we deserve. So why don't you think enough for yourself to say, listen, I know God can give me somebody just for me that I don't have to compromise and share for. Because let me let y'all in on a little secret. If you ever get them, they ain't going to trust you and you ain't going to trust them. Because all y'all have done leading up into this point, how in the somebody going to give you some trust? You deserve better than that. You as a person deserve better than that. And God got better than that for you. But now the thing is, I can tell you all day, but do you believe it? That's my final thought.
People wonder why society and the world is like it is today. And it's simply because we don't value commitment anymore. Everywhere you look, everybody is trying to get out of something. They're trying to listen, you got all the choices in the world, but you cannot choose the consequences. You don't know what's going to happen because of a choice. But when you make a choice, have the courage to stick to it. Stop looking for every out that you can because it didn't seem to turn out the way you like it would. You thought it would. And most times it's temporary. Whatever this trouble is you're going through is temporary if you're working on it, if you're committed to getting through it. We don't want to stick through anything. We don't want to hold out through anything. And the world is suffering as a result, especially those who say they believe in God. God gave you somebody. God values commitment. Forget the soulmate stuff. If you made the commitment, he says, I'm holding you to your word. This is what we need. We need more people who's going to be about what they say they're about and not be shifty every time the wind blows. We do that and watch things straighten out. Watch people have more faith in marriage and the things that really matter. And watch the whole society just get better. And that's our King Speak for this week.
Yeah. continue to act like a child while we trying to be adults. And that's all it is. With no responsibility, making excuses for what we do. That's all it is. It ain't nothing else. Because once you get to a certain age, you gotta have an excuse for the foolishness that you're doing.
Exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right. Wow. Been a good one, man. You had some stuff to get off your chest tonight.
Man, dude, it's just we so wishy-washy, man. No. We so undisciplined, brother, with things. And we have allowed that undisciplinedness to creep over in all facets of our lives, brother. You gotta have you gotta be disciplined enough to be successful in anything, especially marriage.
It's not isolated. It's gonna bleed over into everything else. Me could say, yes, sir. Y'all preached. Fantastic show, Alicia says. Listen, thank everybody. We appreciate all y'all jumping into the comments, talking to us, having this conversation with us. We appreciate all y'all input about the topic. Y'all help this thing be what it is. So each week, we appreciate everybody, our faithful Man Talk Monday people. We appreciate any new people. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Big Rod, once again, I love you, brothers, for this platform. Hey, man.
Share with somebody, man. Help somebody out, man. Share, man. Y'all share with somebody.
That's why we do it. Let them know where to find you real quick, man.
All right, man. You can find me every Monday on Man Talk Monday. Every Monday at 7 o'clock Central Time, you can find me on Man Talk Monday. You can also find me on Facebook at John Yogi. You can find me on Instagram at Yoga Lou. You can find me on Twitter, on Zilla, and on Godzilla. And Selma in Manila. Find me on those platforms, and I'll be there. D, tell about it. Tell where we can find you, D.
Well, for me, of course, I'm on Man Talk Mondays as well. And I also have Overcomers Empowerment Ministries. And we broadcast on Sunday mornings at 10 o'clock live on BS3 TV. You can catch us live on BS3 TV, or you can catch us on demand anytime. You can go back. Past messages are there. But by all means, go check us out, Overcomers Empowerment Ministries. And y'all, don't forget Dr. Selena, Teaching Through the Eyes of Trauma. Go check out the podcast. Support. It's great stuff. We're not selling you support just for the sake of supporting. You will learn a lot from these podcasts, guaranteed. So definitely go check it out. Well, man, another one in the books.
This is I'm pulling out. I ain't got nothing left. D, I ain't got nothing left.
Leave it all out there, man. Leave it all out there. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everybody. We're gonna see y'all next week. Peace out.